Hello, and thank you so much for joining me on my broadcast this morning on this very, very brief webinar. I think it's so important that we understand. First of all, welcome. I'm Sherry Shepherd, and I am the president of the National Black Business Owners Association. Now, what led me to do this webinar is the fact that often I run into small business owners, and one of the first questions they always ask me is, how do I get, they either ask me, how do I get a bank loan, or are there grants available for business loans and for startup businesses. So listen, I just want to kind of cover the basics of what is required to get a loan from a bank, especially if you're a startup. Now, first, I'm going to tell you the first thing. I'm just going to break this down to the finest denominator. First thing you need to know, it is super hard to get a loan from a bank for a startup business. A lot of times we are under the illusion that if we have a dynamic business plan, and you do need one, that you can just take that to the bank and they'll give you some money. That is not how it works, especially if you're a startup. One of the things that the bank is going to look at, if you're talking about walking to a Bank of America, a Wells Fargo, a Regions Bank, they're going to want to know how long you've been in business. One of the things that I tell business owners, or those who have aspirations to own a business, the first thing I tell you is go ahead and incorporate your business now, even if you're not physically ready to go ahead and get started. You know why? Because what they're going to look at when they consider, one of the things they're going to look at when they consider you for a business loan, and they want to know how long you've been in business, one of the things they're going to look at, they're going to pull your incorporation papers, and they're going to look at that date of incorporation. So listen, tip number one for you, go ahead and incorporate your business. You are 9 times out of 10, you already know what you want to call it. You know the name, you know what you want to do. Go ahead and get your paperwork together, get your articles of incorporation together, get your tax ID number, open up a bank account. If you're still working, open up your bank account and start to put deposits in that business account, because all of that counts. The main thing I want to drive home to you is that your personal credit is king. Your personal credit is king. They are not going to look at you or consider you for a loan unless you have at least a 680 credit score. Now, don't panic about that. Listen, there are so many things that you can do to bring your credit up, and I'll discuss that in another webinar. But you have to have at least a 680 credit score. Now, that's one of the first things. Now, if you are a startup business, and there are alternatives if you need some funding. But again, even with the alternatives for obtaining a small loan to start your business, you still have to have that 680 credit score. There's no way, you can't get around that. Another thing that they are looking at, besides your personal credit, is in your age and the length of time you've been in business. They're going to look at cash flow. And this is really where the rubber meets the road, people. Listen, you have to be able to prove that you can pay this loan back. Now, so listen, you have to hustle. You might have to hustle for a couple of years, but you absolutely they need to see cash flow. They need to see money coming in that account. They need to see how you manage your bills. They need to see it's almost the same qualifications that, that it is to buy a house. They're going to look at debt to income ratio, just like if you were buying a house. They're going to look at your income. They're going to look at how you manage your bills. That's why your credit is so important. So listen, if you do not have a 680 credit score, I suggest that you start getting your credit together. Listen, at the National Black Business Owners Association, one of the things that we can do is help you to repair your credit, give you advice on how to bring your score up, because that is absolutely critical. I mean, that is the base. I mean, it only builds from your credit. If they pull your credit and you don't have a 680 credit score, they're not even going to look at your cash flow statements. They're not going to care about how much money you're bringing in, because to them, that means no matter how much money you're bringing in, you're still not managing your bills well. So listen, we can help you with that. Another thing that they're looking at, especially if you are thinking about getting a loan with the SBA. Listen, you need to have collateral. Ooh, that is huge. You need to have some kind of collateral. Listen, and collateral can be your office equipment. It does not have to be your home. I see so many business owners and they put their home up for collateral. Now the bank they'll do it, but I do not recommend that you put your most important asset on the line like that. One thing you need to do, you need collateral can be your copiers. If you are in the trucking business, it can be your equipment. If you're into anything with agriculture, it can be your farm equipment. Just anything but your house. Please, anything but your house, because at the end of the day, you don't want to put your family at risk. Look, all that other stuff is, and yeah, you can get another home, but it'll take a minute if you lose your home over your business. So listen, find someone who will finance you. Use your equipment. Because that, number one, that's in your business name. Okay. And that's not going to affect your personal credit. If you lose your home, that's going to affect your personal credit. And sometimes it takes years to get that foreclosure off of your credit. Sometimes if you're really good, like our people, we can work and we can get that, we can work to get that foreclosure off of your credit report. But even with that, it's still, there's a period of time that it needs to sit there in order for us to go and do what we have to do to get that foreclosure off your credit report. So listen, you need to have collateral. They're at the end of the day, put yourself in the bank's position, right? Put yourself in their position. Would you loan $10,000 to anybody that couldn't pay it back? I mean, it's really, it comes down to that, and it's really just that simple. And this is a high level webinar. This is not, we're not getting into the details of debt financing and factoring and different types of financing that's out there. But I want to give you the basics so that you can build from there. So again, you need to have your personal credit in order. Business credit is another subject that I'll cover in another brief webinar, but that is an alternative. That's another way that you can get financing for your business. But this particular video is about your traditional, trying to get a traditional loan from the bank, or even an SBA loan, okay, which I still consider to be a traditional type of loan. So you also, they're going to also look at, watch this. They're going, in addition to your business plan, they're going to look at the expertise. This is a big one, of the officers of the corporation. Now, for example, I have a business called Admins to Go. But my experience as an administrative assistant, as an executive assistant, my experience counts. I've been, I have 20 years of working for high level executives. That means something to the bank, because they're going to look at you and know that your expertise will help to make you a better business owner. They're going to look at they're going to look at everything. Okay. So you need to prove to these people that you want money from, that not only do you know what you're doing, and that you're an expert at what you're doing. If you're not an expert, you need to have somebody involved who is. Now, see, I don't want that to deter you from applying for the loan, because you can always hire somebody who's an expertise in the area, who has expertise in the area in which you're exploring. Like now, if I wanted to, like, let's say for instance, I wanted to get into manufacturing, right? I wanted to get into manufacturing, and maybe okay, like my mac and cheese is the bomb, right? My mac and cheese is the bomb. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so what if I want to bring that to, to the national market? Guess what? But because I don't have, the only thing I have is my recipe. I don't have the experience. I don't have manufacturing experience. I don't know anything about getting my product on the shelves. Guess what I have to do? I need to go and bring somebody in on my team who does. Okay, because I need that person's expertise to impress the bank so that I can get the $5 million that I need to get. Okay, because if I go in there with my executive assistant experience, they're going to be like, okay, what does this have to do with macaroni and cheese? Nothing. And they're going to just and they're just going to toss me over. They're going to put me in the file, okay? Because I have no expertise in that area. So they are looking for expertise. They're looking to see how you manage your bills. They're looking for your debt to income ratio. Listen, this is so critical. This is critical because you need to prove to them that you can manage your debts. Don't go out and get a bunch of unnecessary things. And listen, it's hard when you first start your business. You're going to be spending money like crazy. Okay. You're going to be spending money. You're going to be getting equipment. You're going to be possibly, depending on the type of business that you have. See, I can work from home. My virtual assistant service, I can do it right here at my house. I can run my nonprofit here at my house. But like if I had that macaroni and cheese business, guess what? I need an office. I need a factory. I need all of that stuff. So that's another expense. So when you first start, you're going to be spending money. This is why they look at the number of years that you're in business. If they know if you can survive those first 2 years where you're buying stuff and you're renting and you're leasing equipment, and you can get past that and still grow your business, and you're still learning, and you're still in business 2 years later, they'll look at you with a little bit more of a serious eye, because they understand those first couple of years you are spending money. Now, if you spend the money, make sure that you are making enough money to pay your bills and pay off everything. It's really not that different than, like I said, than you're buying a home, right? You have to be able to prove to them that now I bought all this equipment, but guess what? I'm making the money and I'm paying my bills. And not only am I paying my bills, I'm paying my debt down. So you cannot have $500,000 in debt and be bringing in $200,000 and $200,000, and you're paying, and you're paying off all these bills. Like, and again, I'm talking about traditional bank financing. I'm not talking about factoring. I'm not talking about equipment. You can use your equipment for collateral and all that other stuff, even though you do need collateral for a traditional loan. I am talking about the basics of what the banks are going to be looking for. Okay. So listen, another thing you may, and I hope you don't have to do this. I hope you don't have to do this. You may have to start off with a small personal loan. Again, it depends on the type of business that you're in. I would strongly suggest that because I'm a serial entrepreneur. I don't just have one business. Okay. I have so many interests, and I'm very passionate about this thing that I'm doing right now, teaching and educating others. So I have a nonprofit as well that I run. But listen, you have to have those basics before you can even consider going to the bank for a loan. Make sure that you are in business, that you're a good business person, that you're paying your bills on time. It's not only paying them on time, but you're going to have to hustle these first couple of years to make sure that you're paying your bills on time and that you're paying them down. Another thing that you need, oh my God, tax returns. Your tax returns, your personal tax returns, and your business tax returns. Now, again, this is another webinar where we get into business structures and all that stuff. But listen, you must pay your taxes. Find yourself a great bookkeeper. Find yourself a good CPA. If you need help with that, the National Black Business Owners Association can help you with that as well. We have bookkeeping services available for you if you are a member of the National Black Business Owners Association. Because listen, at the end of the day, we want to help you succeed. If you do not keep your books well, you will not be able to produce the balance sheet you need. You will not be able to produce any cash flow statements. You won't be able to produce any of the financial statements that the bank needs. And again, and then at the end of the year, you will find with great bookkeeping, it takes so much pressure off of you to pay your loan. To pay your taxes. Look, and that's something that, no, taxes is not fun. It's not necessarily something that we want to talk about that we don't want to deal with. But listen, if you have the right structure in place, if you have the right structure in place, and if you have a great CPA and a great bookkeeper that can help you with those write-offs, listen, that you have a gem. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to prove for the last 2 or 3 years that you paid your taxes personally and your business taxes. Okay. Those are the must-haves before you can even think about walking in the door to get a loan for your business. Again, your personal credit needs to be in great shape. It's 680 or above. Okay. Your debt to income ratio matters. Just to recap. So listen, pay your bills. If you're applying for an SBA loan or a government-backed loan, you need to have some kind of collateral in place. And again, I would never recommend to anybody to put their house up for collateral. Please, 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 please don't do that. Listen, there are ways you can get around that. You can build up your business credit separately. That's another video. But you can build your business credit separately from your personal credit. And listen, that way the assets that you put up for collateral are in your business name and your home can go untouched. Please don't put your home up. Oh gosh, I've heard nightmare stories and it breaks my heart when people lose their homes from chasing their dreams. Okay. Listen, don't do that. There are ways around that, okay? And again, the age of your business matters. They're not going to look at you if you're less than 2 years old. Again, traditional bank financing, they're not going to look at you if you're less than 2 years old, okay? They're just not, because again, that you have to prove to them that you've made it through those first couple of years where you're spending money like crazy and that you can still pay your bills, okay? And they're going to, and again, debt to income ratio matters, just like buying a home. And they're going to look at the expertise they're going to look at your expertise as a business owner. So you need to have a slamming bio, okay? You need to highlight all of your experience. And please don't think that any of your experience in the area in which you're doing business, don't think any of it is too small, okay? When I write my bio, I said for my virtual assistant business, for admins to go, listen, I count everything. I went all the way back, and I found a way to put my 20 plus years of experience in my bio. You hear? So people can know if I'm going into the bank and I'm saying, hey, listen, I want to expand my virtual assistant service. I want to expand and maybe go into temporary services, listen, they can look at my experience and say, hey, well, this girl is going to know what an executive assistant is supposed to do. Look at her experience. Look at her references. You see what I'm saying? So listen, these are the basics that you need to even think about applying for a bank loan. Now, next week, I'll do another webinar about business credit, separate from your personal credit. That is another key factor when it comes to access to capital. And a lot of people, it's more and more people are being educated about it, but this is something that as the African American community, we're missing. It's key. Once you set up your incorporation, and that's something you don't have to wait 2 years to get money for. And again, if you have a 680 credit score or more and you want to start your business, there are options out there for smaller micro loans that will help you start your business. But again, it starts with your personal credit. That's the root of it all. You know what I mean? So listen, hey, I thank you for joining me. Listen, we're going to have a more detailed training that we're going to put in place. And it's basically the loan financing. It's the NBBOA Loan Prep Academy, where we're going to walk you through step by step what you need. We're going to teach you about your cash flow statements and your balance sheets. We're going to bring in people from the SBA that will help walk you through what it takes to get one of their loans. We're going to help you set up your business correctly. We're going to help you get your personal credit in order, and we can even help you get your business credit. So listen, stay tuned. If you like this page, continue to follow me, because I'm going to have a lot of nuggets, and I'm also going to post this on our YouTube channel. So listen, I hope that you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel if you're watching me there. Hit the like button if you're following me on Facebook, because there are so many tips out there for the African American business owner. One of our biggest problems in our community is lack of access to capital. So listen, but we're here to help you with and give you technical assistance to help eliminate all of the potential things that can get you rejected. Okay. Listen, you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Sherry Shepherd, president of the National Black Business Owners Association. And thank you so much for watching. There's the button.